Welcome to video number 2 on solving a special system of equations. In a quick review, remember when we were solving before, whether we graphed, whether we used substitution or elimination, and we got an intersection or we got one point. If we got an intersection in our graph, we knew there was an ordered pair XY solution. And if we solved it by elimination or substitution, we had x equals a number, y equals a number, and because we had different equations. And then our last video, we solved special system of equations, and we got parallel lines if you were to graph them. If you solved them with substitution or elimination, you had an invalid statement. You had an invalid statement, meaning that the slope is the same, the intercepts were different. And then, of course, today, in this video, the second video, we're going to talk about infinitely many solutions. In other words, the lines are going to be the same. You're going to end up with a valid statement if you use substitution or elimination because the equations would have the same slope, the same intercept. The equations would be the same. So let's do those examples right now. Number 4, for solving a system and receiving infinitely many solutions. I have negative 3x plus 12y is equal to 9, and x minus 4y is equal to negative 3. Well, of course, we could choose any method we want. We could graph it if we had a graph. We could substitute if we wanted to do that. We can eliminate. A lot of people love elimination. I happen to be going to be choosing to do substitution on this one because I'm going to take this negative 4y term and I'm going to put it on the other side and call it 4y minus 3. And then I'm going to substitute that 4y minus 3 into the x for the first equation. I'm going to get negative 3 times 4y minus 3 plus 12y equals 9. And that gives me a negative 12y plus 9 plus 12y equals 9. And if I combine those two terms, well, they eliminate. They actually go away because the negative 12 and a positive 12 go to 0, leaving me with 9 equals 9, which in fact is a valid statement, meaning I have infinitely many solutions. Okay? I could subtract 9 from both sides and end up with 0 equals 0. So please understand, if I subtracted 9 from both sides and I ended up with 0 equals 0, that is also a valid statement. Having 0 equals 0 is valid. Some people get 0 equals 0 and think that they've done it wrong or that there's no solution, and that is not true. 0 equals 0 is a valid statement, which would give you infinitely many solutions. All right, let's go to our next example. 7x plus 3y equals 0. 14x plus 6y equals 0. And I am going to specifically choose elimination on this one. I'm going to come up here and take this first equation, and I'm going to multiply it by a negative 2. Negative 2 times 7x is negative 14x. A negative 2 times a positive 3 is negative 6y. And a negative 2 times 0 would be 0. And if I add these two equations together, because I can eliminate the 14 and the negative 14, that goes to 0. And then the 6y plus the negative 6y, well, that goes to 0. So I end up with, again, 0 equals 0. That is a valid statement, which means I have infinitely many solutions. Okay? I'm going to go and do it a second way just to prove it. And I'm going to actually write it in slope-intercept form by moving this 7x to the other side. That'd give me 3y equals a negative 7x. And then if I divide by 3, I would get y equals a positive 7/3 x. And then if I solve the second one for y by moving the 14x over, I would get 6y equals negative 14x. Dividing by 6, y would be equal to negative 14/6x, which does simplify to being y equals negative 7/3 x. And again, I would have the same equation. The same equation, I have a valid statement, I have infinitely many solutions. Our last example, negative 16x minus 20y is equal to 12. and negative 8x minus 10y equals 6. I'm looking at this one. I wouldn't want to write this one in slope-intercept form because I'm looking at my y and I see this 20 and none of these numbers are compatible with 20. I know I did it on the previous one and I only did it just to show you because it was pretty easy. But these numbers are not compatible with 10 in either equation or 20 in either. So I'm just going to use elimination on this one. And I'm going to multiply the second equation on this one. I'm going to multiply it by a negative 2. And negative 2 times a negative 8 is positive 16x. And negative 2 times negative 10 is positive 20y. And negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. If I bring down my original equation number 1, negative 16x minus 20y equals 12. Heavens to Troy, when I add these two equations together, everything is eliminated, giving me 0 equals 0. And once again, we've proven that is a valid statement. That means we have infinitely many solutions. And so, again, a quick review. If the statement is valid, you have the same equation. You would have infinitely many solutions. If you have an invalid statement, you have the same slope. You have a different intercept. You have parallel lines. You have no solution. And of course, if the equations are completely different, and you have different slopes, different intercepts, you would get a one solution system. So going to our last quick write of the night for our second video, solving the special system, 3x plus 6y equals 0, x plus 2y equals 0. Remember, please come to class to ask questions, always seeking understanding, taking advantage of all your time you're in class, always asking questions, not settling for not knowing, making sure you are actively participating in class, making sure you understand, and if not, you say, Mr. Ross, I need more examples. I need to explain it another way. I need something more to help me get it. If you settle and don't ask, you're not going to get it. All right? Begin working on your assignment. Quality effort, 45 minutes of total time tonight, using aggressiveness and urgency to get your assignment done. That means not wasting time. That's what it means. Use your time effectively, and you will be successful. Hard not to be. Okay? You are 100% in control of the effort you give in completing your notes with quality so that you can say, hey, I've autographed my work with excellence. I am proud to show my notes. You are also 100% in control of completing your assignments every single day. Whether you have to ask questions or not, you can get it done. You're in control. And if you take care of that business, your success has nowhere to go but up. I believe in you. I know you can do it. Now it's time to make it happen, people. Let's get busy. I'll see you tomorrow.